Welcome to creating a pop art image, part 2. Hey guys, and welcome to Phlearn, where we make learning Photoshop and photography a lot of fun. My name is Aaron Nace, and you can find us on Twitter at Phlearn. Today we're going part 2 to our Marilyn Monroe, Andy Warhol style shoot. We're going to take you behind the scenes of the actual photo shoot, talk about what we did on the set to make sure we could get a great final image, and then we're going to take you into Photoshop where we actually color this thing and make it really look like it is a Warhol. So the cool thing about working with a reference is that we pretty much knew exactly what we wanted already, we just had to go about and create it. So all the way down to things like the lighting. The original image has like one side of Marilyn's face is dark and one side of it is light. So we wanted to kind of recreate that look. So we went with a light that's a little bit harder, and that's going to allow us to create some of those shadows, which we'll wind up seeing in the end image, really do help to define the shape of Marilyn. Okay, cool. So we're going to do a lighting build-up now. Our main light is a beauty dish, but we do have a couple fill lights. So we're going to turn them off and on just to kind of like show you guys the difference that it makes. So we're going to start off. Michaela, are you cool to just hang tight there? Yeah. All right, go ahead and pause for me. Beautiful. All right, the background light, let's get on one of our fill lights. Yep, go ahead and turn that on. And these fill lights are really important. It keeps our shadows from getting too dark. So now we can see what it looks like with the fill. Let's go ahead and pump this one on as well. Yep. All right, so we've got one fill light, and then this is coming in with the other fill light. Beautiful. And then let's go ahead and turn on our beauty dish, and that's the main light on our subject, so that's what really makes the difference, actually lighting the subject. Everything else just pretty much just takes care of the shadows. Beautiful. Awesome job, guys. That's it. So now that you guys have seen a little bit behind the scenes of the photo shoot, we're going to take you into Photoshop where we're going to finish this up and put some color onto Marilyn. Welcome to part 2 of the Photoshop section for creating pop art. Today we're going to be covering basically what we did in our last episode was we took the regular image and we turned it into a silhouette. So we have like our dark outline, and now we're going to be taking that, cutting it out. I'm going to show you how to apply color underneath it to make it look like the final image, and then we're going to do something really cool, stick it in the background. All right, so this is basically what we have from our last tutorial, and what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn my reference on so we can see it's pretty close. I mean, it's a black and white version, but it's getting there. We're going to shift click all these layers together now, and I'm going to hit Command G to group them together. Now keep in mind that all these layers are on like a multiply blending mode. You can see here as I click through, they're all on a multiply blending mode, right? So that's basically going to give us just a black and white image here. Now that we need to like kind of figure out a way how to take some blacks from this image and then put that on a new transparent layer so we can then color underneath it. So what we're going to do is basically just create a new layer. I'm going to go to select, and I'm going to go down here to color range. So what was a bunch of different colors or a bunch of different layers, let's just click over here, and then our preview, let's just click this to grayscale. So this is going to show us what it's going to get selected, and you can turn your fuzziness up here. And basically this is anything that looks light here is going to be selected. So if it's inverted, it's not a big deal. We are selecting the darks. Okay, so we're going to hit OK, and this is basically selecting out the darks. So on this new layer, what we're going to do is I'm going to make this layer visible, the one with Marilyn, and I'm just going to take these colors because Mr. Warhol did such a good job picking out colors. I'm just going to use his. We're going to use our brush tool and go ahead and sample that color by holding Alt or Option. So on a new layer, we can just kind of make this one invisible. Now I'm going to hit Shift Delete, and we can fill using our foreground color, which is the color we just sampled from here. So I'm going to hit OK, and then Command D will deselect. Okay, so what we've got now is on its own layer, we've got basically just Marilyn, and well, it's not Marilyn, but our version Marilyn, and she's ready to have something underneath her. So like anything that I paint underneath this layer, because it's just on transparent background, it's just going to show up. So let's go ahead and give it a start. Let's go ahead. I'm going to change my order real quick, and here we go. So a new layer underneath, we're going to give it the same color background. So I'm going to grab this color background, hold Alt or Option Delete, which fills with our background color. Okay, so now we can see this is going to always stay the same. We're just going to pop some other colors back underneath it. Now I do know that I actually want to cut this out. Like I want her to be cut out from the background so we can do things like have a really nice selection around her hair. And later in this tutorial, I'm going to show you guys something really cool that we're going to add to the background that Andy Warhol did not do. So I'm going to actually hit Command J on my background copy. We're going to go all the way up to here so we can kind of see what's going on. Let's turn that invisible. So now I can kind of see our original image along with our silhouette. And I'm going to grab the pen tool. So we're going to hit P for the pen tool, and we're going to cut this out using the pen tool. So if you guys have not used the pen tool before, just do a quick Google search, or if you're on Phlearn.com, you could just type in pen tool, and we have many episodes on the pen tool. But it's a really easy tool to use. Basically all we're doing for the pen tool is clicking and dragging, which creates curves. So I'm going to click and drag. That's going to create a curve. And then if you need to move any of your curves around, you can just hold Alt or Option. There we go, to move your curves around, or Control or Command. Alt is for if you need to make a point, and Control is going to be if you want to just make a, if you want to move a point. So here I'm going to hold Alt or Option, and I'm going to take that point and kind of bring it down this way, and then we're just going to bring it down just like that. And this is another point, so we're going to bring it down like this. There we go. And over top. Now, this isn't something I feel like I need to be super like accurate with, I guess is a good word, because it's just like it's a totally random bit of hair for one, so it's like it's not really going to tell what is and is not correct, because it's, you know, if this were something like a car that we were cutting out, you'd want to do a really good job at this, but since it's hair, it's like hair comes in just about any shape you can think of, right? So it's not important that much that you get it that right. Secondly, because we're doing this for pop art, it's just completely up to interpretation. So you can pretty much just do whatever you want. That's why I love doing this sort of stuff. It just really is fun to kind of like get out of the regular photography routine and do things like this, because it'll help to like kind of expand your brain a little bit. And just doing this stuff, it's a fun exercise that makes you kind of figure out how to do new things, and at the same time oftentimes you'll come away with, like I know I'll come away with quite a bit of like new skills that I can then apply to other photo shoots or like other concepts, ideas that I've had, and then it's like, wow, this was really cool. I'm so glad that I did this, because without it I don't think I would have had the idea to do this other photo shoot that I wound up really liking. So just a hidden bonus in there. All right, so you can see the pen tool is really not that difficult to use. I'm just clicking and dragging quite a bit to create these points. Just click and drag, hold Alt or Option, click and drag there again. Okay, and it should be clear in just a little bit why I'm spending the effort to cut out our subject. All right, we'll come right down there. Very cool. And that's basically all we need to do. So we're just going to bring that right around there. And now we can see she's basically got a selection right around her. And if you do need to like edit anything in here, like let's say I don't like this curve, for instance, I can just kind of like bring this one out and down there. Really just whatever you can think of, you can do here. There we go. Give a little bit more of a curve. Okay. So now that this is a selection, what we're going to do is we're going to actually make a layer mask with this, and then I'm going to load that layer mask onto a group. So it's kind of a lot of things we're about to do here, but it's basically all the same idea. We just need a way to restrict what's going on with the color. So we're going to right click here, and I'm going to go to make selection. So once you have your path created, which is what we've got here, we're going to make a selection, and now I've got a really nice selection right around our Marilyn. Okay, so here now we can get rid of this. And I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to hit Command G to group this layer. So we're going to use this layer mask to define the visibility of a group, and then I'm going to put a bunch of color layers inside that group. I know we're going over a lot of complex things right now, but basically I'm going to recap it at the end so you guys can figure out what it is. And it's not a super complicated idea, it's just kind of weird to talk about. All right, so we're going to put a layer mask on this group now. Okay, so this background copy, we can pretty much delete this, and this layer mask is on this group. Now, what that means is basically anything that I do inside of this group, let's just say I choose a color like this, if I paint around just like this, now it's only going to be visible inside of, there we go, inside of the selection we just made with the pen tool, because it's in this group. So I'm not having to like remake my selections every time, and I really don't care like if they're nice or not, because it really doesn't matter at all. So let's go ahead and just delete that layer. We'll create a new one, and we're just going to start grabbing some colors here. All right, so the first thing we want to grab is our, there we go, let's grab a hair color. So we're just going to grab this hair color straight from her and start painting it, there we go, right over top of our subject. And because the outline, there we go. See, look at that, isn't that so nice? And basically wherever is getting colored in is exactly where I had selected with my pen tool. And I'm not too incredibly concerned here about how these colors, like if they overlap or something like that, because we are kind of like redoing a screen print, okay? Without this, we have nothing, right? So that's why we spent the whole first episode basically making that layer. All right. On a new layer, I want to see what it looks like. Let's just grab her skin color. Let's make that invisible. And we're just going to paint everywhere where she's got skin. So we don't have to be incredibly precise here, which is really nice. Just kind of takes a lot of the pressure off. All right, so those are the advantages about using the pen tool, as well as spending some time making like really nice selections early on, is that now I can just kind of like paint wherever I want. There we go. And we'll paint her finger this color because it's skin as well. So now we can kind of paint wherever we want, and it's going to just carry over. All right. I like that we recreated a Warhol, except we put a gun in her hand. I don't know. It's a little bit of a social commentary on the life she lived. Not that I know that much about her, but she was a wild one. All right. And then I'm leaving this color of the gun the same color as the background here. Okay, we've got a new color, and then this is the red color here, and I'm going to choose to have that be visible on her dress here. Isn't this fun? I think this is so cool. So we're kind of like setting ourselves up to do like a paint by numbers kind of thing, which is, I guess it's pretty much just what Andy Warhol did, so why not? There we go. All right, and I'm just using my brush tool, but if you wanted to use other selection tools and other methods here, you could totally do that as well. And if you get to a place where you kind of like paint outside the lines, just grab your eraser tool and erase those away. But you do have these lines, and I think it actually kind of looks good in some cases to like, you know, do something like that where it's like you missed on your line a little bit. That kind of like imitates an error in the screen for a screen print, so I'm gonna just leave it. I don't care. Does it look like I care? Because if it does, you're wrong, because I don't. All right, there we go. Let's erase that over top of her finger. All right, and then outside of this, again, we've got more skin. So let's go back to our layer with skin color, grab this color, and you can see I'm not being precise at all here. I'm just painting all the way out to the edge. There we go. Because it's the layer mask, let's just zoom out here. It's this mask that's on the group. Like if I shift click this mask, you can see it's just gonna go everywhere, right? So that's the really nice part about having created the layer mask already, is that now I'm able to just kind of like paint in, and I don't have to be, there we go. I don't have to be particularly in the lines. I don't know what to say. Okay, Now here we're going to do the same thing. Basically we've got the same idea, but this time I want to get some of this eyeshadow. So we can see the eyeshadow basically is the same color as our backdrop. So what I'm going to do is put a layer mask on the skin, and we're just going to layer mask this away so it's going to reveal the color from the backdrop right over top here. And this is similar to what you would actually do if you were screen printing. You would just have it like, you would have the screen not cover this area. So kind of cool that we're actually just like, you know, in a little bit of a way anyway, we're doing like a Photoshop version of a screen print. Similar idea anyway, different technology. Okay, and here on this here on the yellow layer, I'm going to paint underneath her eyes as well. And then we can use our layer mask here to kind of paint black right over here. There we go. So we can see, because there is some eye. There we go. That's awesome. And on this layer, we're going to grab our brush tool. Let's grab this same red. And now we're going to paint in where her mouth is, including, I guess, over top of her teeth. I'm going to grab the pen tool again because it's going to allow me to make some like really nice lips here. Okay, hold Alt or Option. Come on down. All right, and she's got a little bit of a curl up right there, which I like. So we're going to do the same thing here. All right, the other thing I really like about the pen tool is at any point in time you can like click on your path and re-edit it. All right, just by holding the Control or the Command key, you can just change it and make it different. All right, how's her little curve up thing look? Let's add a little point right here, and you can just click anywhere on your layer to create a little point like that. There we go. That looks pretty good. So here inside of this, we're going to right click, and I'm going to go to Make Selection. Okay, and I'm going to hit Shift Delete to fill with my foreground color, which in this case is that. And I'm going to look at, we'll just create a black, put a layer mask on her. I'm going to just give her her original teeth color back, because I think that she might actually want that. All right, and let's shift click on this to see what we like. Yeah, I like her original teeth color, so that's just one of the positives about doing this yourself. You can just do whatever you want. Okay, and then she does have this right over here on her mole as well, so we're going to go to this layer, and I'm going to grab my brush tool and just paint black right over here to give that on her mole. So it's basically, it's all going straight through to the background. So we can see this is what the background looks like. Then we added the yellow, and then we added the skin, and then we added the red right over top of that. All right, really cool, guys. So, and you can see this is basically all just painting with random brush tool like underneath this layer. And we created this layer in section 1. Okay, we're gonna do one more thing, which is gonna be just really fun. We're just doing this because I just thought it might be cool. I'm going to hit Command O to open up, and we actually photographed a gun on its own, and we're going to make a little bit of we're going to make a wallpaper out of this gun. All right, so let's grab this, and I'm going to make a selection out of this layer here and move this from one layer to the other one. This is the fun stuff. It's like, okay, well, let's recreate a Warhol, which is like, already cool on its own. But then we went ahead and just decided to have her hold a gun, and then we photographed the gun, and now we're just going to edit this and make it a little bit different. All right, grab the lasso tool, and I'm cutting out the light stand that it was taped to. There we go. And I'm going to hit Shift-Command-U, and Command-L is going to be our levels. So Shift-Command-U desaturates, and then Command-L is our levels adjustment. Then I'm going to click on my white point, and I'm going to click right here. There we go, to make our, to bring our white point up. There we go. So we've got a dark gun on a light background. You can see it's not a real gun, as you can tell by the, I don't think real guns have like a little holder tag on the bottom. All right, and then we're just gonna delete that out. So anytime you have light on a dark background or anything like that, it's really easy to cut that object out. So to cut it out, you could simply, like if you don't need to cut it out, like if you just need it to be like the white or the black to go away, you could just change this to multiply and then the black will go away. Now in this case, we are going to cut it out. So what we're going to do is on this layer, we're going to go to select and then down to color range. And then we're going to select out this black. Very nice. And then on this layer, I'm just going to hit Command J. So now we have this gun, there we go, and it's on, pretty cool. It's on its own backdrop and we can see straight through it. So if we did want to do something with this, which we are, you could like put it right on top of your subject. Okay, now what we're going to do, I'm going to hit Command T and we're going to just kind of rotate this around and make it quite a bit smaller because I'm going to make like an abstract background out of this. That's going to be really cool. There we go. So we're going to push it somewhere like that, and then I'm going to hit Command J on that and Command T so we can get something like that. I just love doing this stuff. I'm going to shift click those and hit Command E so those two layers are on their own. Now we're going to hit Command T and I am going to just, yep, we're going to bring it like this. And now we're going to do what's called a step and repeat. So I'm going to Command click on this layer, then Option Command T, and now we're going to do what's called a step. I'm going to bring my pivot point all the way down here to the bottom and then rotate this around. There we go. Rotate this around and all right, let me just change my pivot point. So Command click on this, Option Command T, we'll change our pivot point to the bottom right and I'm going to shift click until it's right there and then hit enter. Now every time I hit Shift Option Command T, it's going to do the same thing. So Shift Option Command T on the bottom and then one more on the side. There we go. So now we have what looks like a little flower symbol, but it's made of some guns, which I just think is kind of fun. Let's change this from normal down here to soft light, and now we can see like what it looks like there on the background. And we're going to put this below Marilyn because we did cut her out, so we are able to put this below her for the background. Very nice. And if we want to just create even more of a background, all we have to do is Option Command click that. There, Option Command T, and now bring it to the right a bit. And now we'll just do the same step and repeat. So Shift Option Command T, and every time I do that, it's just going to create another one of those, which is really nice. All right, we can do that again. So Command click this, Option Command T, we can just drag that down now. Hit enter, Option Command T a couple times. So now we've got something like that in the background. All right, we can keep going with this, guys. There really is no end, but for this, I think we're good. Basically, we're just going to get it somewhere right about there. All right, so just to, like, if it were zoomed out like this, you really wouldn't probably be able to tell that those are guns. You know what? I think I do want them to be a little bit smaller. So we're just going to make a couple different copies of that. I'm going to hit Command J on that. There we go. We'll make another one. Command J, and then another one there. Very cool. So it's something that, it's like a nice little fun detail. You wouldn't really be able to tell until you zoomed in and you're like, whoa, that's the same gun she's holding and it's making up the background in that really cool pattern. That's amazing. You totally one-upped Andy Warhol. And I'll say, thanks, man. That's really nice of you to say that. And that's it, guys. So you can see a lot of effort went into, creating our selection and also making that silhouette in episode 1. But once we did that, all we were doing is sampling colors and painting them directly under, and everything is smooth sailing from there. Guys, thanks so much for watching Phlearn. We hope you enjoyed this episode and learned a lot, and I want to see your pop art images as well if you create one. If you like what we got going on here at Phlearn, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's like a click away. You just do it somewhere on this screen. You can share this with your friends and leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll Phlearn you later. We're just gonna Phlearn you later. I said that weird. Phlearn you later. Bye, guys.